Hey everyone, welcome to this space. If you're new here, welcome. This is Euphoric Garden Tarot. My name is Simone, and I am not really necessarily here for the views necessarily. I'm just here to help people who really want to be helped. If you found me, it's because you were meant to find me. I'm not out here trying to do like any kind of outreaching or marketing or anything. If you find me, you're supposed to be here. Okay. This is for Sagittarius. This is for the sign of Sagittarius. Welcome, Sagittarius. We're going to go ahead and jump into it. These messages don't really pertain to like a certain month. These are just spiritual messages. I honestly, my spirit and my spirit always is like flowing. So there's just certain times where it'll tell me, okay, this is what they need to know. This is what you need to read for. So there's going to be times where I'm just going to read for spiritual messages and it's not going to pertain to any day, month. It's just going to pertain to any time during that year specifically. So these messages are going to pertain to your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and your first house. So if you have Sagittarius or Jupiter in your first house, you can also check your first house because that's all about your identity, which actually shifts and changes as you get older. And some people don't have anything in their house placements, so, and that's totally fine. So you can just check your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. These messages pertain to you, not necessarily about a relationship or anybody else really. They may come up, but this is mostly about what you need to do and how you can navigate this map of your life. Okay. Just know I don't really say this a lot in my readings, but I'm going to say it to you guys because I feel like you guys probably need to hear it. You are in charge of your life. The guardians, the spirits, the energies that you may pray to or you are very hopeful towards in getting you what you want or what you need, they're listening to you. And you're the boss. So they're not here to try to force you to do anything or to pick a path that you're not comfortable with. They may try to push you towards there a little bit and be like, hey, maybe you can try, but they're not going to force you into that situation. Your choices matter. Everything in life is about choices. So say yes to what you want, say no to what you don't. If you're being manipulated in any way in relationships or at work or any kind of situation where you have any type of like fear or doubt or negative energy towards yourself or towards your life, you probably should say no to it. That's what I believe. If you don't believe in that type of thing, maybe these readings are not for you, but you're the boss of your life. Not your ancestors, not a god, not the gods are not in charge of your life. You are. And if you are going back to that toxic person, friendship, family member, or ex that's constantly like cycling, it's just they're just constantly repeating in your life, but nothing's changing, and you keep saying yes to them, and you always find yourself falling into that trap, guess what? It's no one's fault but yours. Okay. And you can change that though. You can start saying no and pushing them out of your life. Okay. I hope that made sense. Anyway, I don't know why I had to say all that, but something told me to tell you. Take it or leave it. It's totally fine. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and first house placements. We're going to go ahead and jump into your reading, you guys. And this is not, again, this is not for like a particular month. It can be for this month, next month, this week, next week, today, tomorrow, or just any given time in 2026. We're in the year of the horse. So things are really going to be, picking up speed. Okay. Things are going to be amplified this year. And it's also a year number 1. So it's going to be a very powerful year, a fun year. Okay. I feel, as long as we're willing and open to learning new lessons about ourselves and other people. So let's just make sure we keep our cool this year if we can. Okay. And just go with the flow as best we can. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. Let's see. We're going to pull 3 oracle messages of advice, and then we're going to jump into the tarot later. Okay. These messages are not going to be too long. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Like I was saying earlier, say no to what you don't want, say yes to what you do. If there is something that is out of your control, leave it alone. Right? If there is someone who's asking you to do some type of work, but it's something that really has nothing to do with you, they're just, they may be looking for help genuinely, but Sagittarius, it's okay to say no and be like, I really don't want to deal with that. That's not something that I can control. But if there's someone trying to force you into something after you've said no, because you know what's good for you, right? Maybe there are those of you who need to learn to understand what is good for you. Learn how to say no. Right? If it's something that you know is in your control, you feel secure in it, like you don't have any doubts or fears surrounding it at all, when it comes to helping other people specifically, it's okay to say yes to that if you're just like, yeah, I can do that. Like, it's totally fine. Like, I got this, or I got the money to do it, or I blah, blah, blah. But if it's something where you kind of feel like it's going to kind of spin out of control at some point, maybe you should say no to it when it comes to helping people. Okay. Especially if it's something that they got themselves into. If it's somebody who's gotten themselves into a little bit of a pickle and they're expecting you to get them out of it, I personally look at this card as saying, don't let that person learn their lesson. Okay. Let them deal with it. Pray for them, but let them deal with it. Yeah. Move your body. Bottom of the deck, you have move your body. So make sure you're exercising. Okay. Take control of your body. Okay. Even for those of you who might have disabilities, I always like to make sure that I'm speaking to people who may have limitations as well, mentally or physically. Okay. That may not pertain to you. Okay. If you cannot move your body, or you know what I mean? But maybe just put yourself around certain, experiences where your mind is moving, you know what I mean? Where you can at least be around movement. Okay. So if you are around a lot of stillness, a lot of stagnation, a lot of people who kind of bring your energy down, okay, you probably want to get away from that if you can. Okay. But for those of you who are more capable and are able to move your body, that card is for you. But for those of you who may not be able to, I always try to remember to, there may be people who may be watching this who might be disabled. These messages may not pertain to you 100%. Okay. But some of it might. Anyway, focus on what you can control. Let go of what you can't. Okay. Don't go fixing things for people if it has nothing to do with you. I don't care if they're asking, begging you, whatever, Sagittarius. If it's something that they could definitely fix themselves and you're just there to hold their hand, I don't care if it's at work. I don't care if it's with a family member. I don't care if it's with your spouse. You're not there to control anybody. So but you're also not there to be controlled by anybody else as well. I also see this card as being vice versa. So if there's somebody who's trying to control you and trying to change you to be somebody that is more ideal for them, shut that down. Shut that down. I feel like, as for Sagittarians, that's not hard. I feel like for fire signs, at least I hope, especially for you Sagittarius, if somebody's trying to control you, like, that's not going to go well for them, at least. Okay. But also don't let your mind wander. If your mind is wandering towards things that you can't control in that moment, like problems that you can't control in that moment. I think I was saying this to Scorpio. Like, if there's something that's not right in front of you, why are you trying to control something that's like over in the future or in the past? It's almost like at work. If you go to work, you're at work. When you come home, you need to be at home. That's it. You don't need to focus on work when you're at home. You're not getting paid to focus on work when you're at home. Once you clock out, you clock out. Right? So some of you guys may find yourselves being like your mind is pulling you in different directions. Okay? Or maybe there's people pulling you in different directions. You don't need that. You don't need that. How are you supposed to take control of your own life when you have so many other things that you're focused on for other people? How are you supposed to take control of something in your life that really needs to be dealt with, or something that really needs to be healed, if you're focusing on multiple things at once? It's like, just take it one thing at a time. Okay? Your prayers are not all going to be answered all at once, right? When you pray for one thing, your ancestors or your guardians and protectors, those who answer or listening to your prayers, they have to do it one at a time. They have to go and, address the problem and make sure that you're getting what you want for the first thing. And then the next thing you pray for, they're like, okay, we got to, once they get you the first thing, then they can go to the next thing. It's like, it's not like a genie in a bottle, so to speak, like in movies where you just snap a finger and you get what you want. It's like, no, the spirit realm doesn't really work that way. You have to work on one thing at a time, sometimes two things at a time. It depends. You got to just kind of, take it one day at a time. If there's one thing in your life that you're like, I really want to fix this, but I also want this, well, focus on the thing that needs to be fixed first. Get that out of the way. Then you can move on to the next task that you want to, address in your life, okay? Towards improvement. But all your prayers can be answered. It just takes time. All right, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and first house placements. Messengers of light. Let's see. Oh, you received water. Who got, was it Scorpio? It was Scorpio. Yeah. It was either Scorpio or Libra. No, it was Scorpio. So some of you Sagittarius, you guys have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, I feel. And if you're watching as a Scorpio placement, you probably have Sagittarius in your chart somewhere. Bottom of the deck, you have sacred site. It says purpose. So all of us are down here for a reason, right? All of us are down here for a reason, Sagittarius. There is a specific place in your life that your soul knows you're supposed to be. It could be a certain type of job, or it could be a side hustle that turns into this thing where you are, that becomes like who you are as a person. That is who you are known for, even though you may have a job that's just like people may not know about, or it's a job that's not really your favorite thing. There may be a side gig or a side hustle that you end up stumbling upon, or something that your soul is really like called to. And you may not see it as your soul being called to it, but you know that you're kind of getting this weird magnetic tug towards something. Some type of profession or some type of project, I don't know, but it's like your soul can't help but move towards it. I feel like that in some way shows you that that is a part of your purpose down here. Okay. And it may have something to do with water, maybe water, giving water to people who don't have fresh water in a certain part of the world. I don't know. Maybe your job is in a state or a country that is near water or is on a coast. It just really depends. I don't know. Maybe your purpose is pulling you towards a certain state or country, depending on where you live. But I'm just getting the way you express yourself. I feel like there are those of you, you might be blocked. Your self-expression is being blocked because you are more focused on things that you cannot control. Government things, topics, the news, politics. There are just things that we cannot control if we are not politicians ourselves, right? If we are not working for the government, or we are not the government itself, like we are not part of a government entity, we cannot control that. So if there are those of you who are looking to the government or looking to certain things to change within your, I feel like the only real thing that you can really do is vote. But my belief is the only way we can make this world a better place, no matter where you live, is for you to be a better place. within yourself. Okay? So don't allow your self-expression to be choked because you are focusing on things that really have nothing to do with your personal growth, your spiritual growth. Okay? All right. Let's see, Sagittarius. Let's keep going. Have faith in your dreams. Yeah. Don't choke your expression, your creative expression. Don't choke that, Sagittarius. Believe in the impossible. So there could be those of you, you love water. Some of you guys, you love fishing, or you love living on the coast, or maybe there's more, you need to drink more water. But there are those of you, Sagittarius, where maybe you are going to actually move someplace on a piece of land that is very sacred, or near a piece of land that just has a lot of spiritual activity or a lot of sacred energy. And that's just where you belong. So some of you guys may be getting this urge to move or to buy land or to find a much more peaceful place in your life where it's not so loud. So some of you guys may be moving someplace where there's not a lot of human traffic, you know, like people, civilization, you know, a lot of cars, you know, freeways, highways, things like that. Could be for some of you. Okay. Or maybe you just need to go on vacation, or, you know, maybe there's a place nearby where you live where you can just be in this area for a while. If there's a body of water near you, maybe you just need to start taking, you know, some day trips there, maybe over the weekend or whenever you can. Okay. Okay. Let's pull a couple of tarot cards for you guys, and then we will end your reading, Sagittarius. I'm also seeing here, Sagittarius, that there are those of you, you want to pour into other people. Maybe maybe you feel like you have poor people skills or social skills, and that's okay. Maybe you just need to find the right people that you can connect with who understand you. Okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Earth. So there's a lot of you, you kind of just want to be on your own. You like being alone. You like making your own money. You don't really like relying on other people. You just kind of want to be able to just be you without anybody putting any type of labels on you, telling you that this is what it is for you. This is how your life is supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to act. This is how you're supposed to talk. This is how you're supposed to dress. You kind of just want to be your own person. You want, but there are also those of you, I'm saying, you just want a nice, cozy home. You want a home where you feel secure and you feel safe. And it's quite possible that you might end up remodeling your home to feel that way. You know, you just, you know, and if you're not alone, you just need some quiet time if you're in a relationship. Okay. Maybe you just, for the most part, you just this year or this month, next month, maybe you just need to spend a lot of time alone, you know. And if there's a person in your life that you really love and you love their company, maybe it's just you and that person. You guys both just kind of chill together instead of, you know, trying to be social with a bunch of people. You know, it could be that. But don't choke your expression. Don't choke your creativity. Don't choke your dreams. Go after what you want. Okay. And if you have a partner and you're married to them, or you have kids, whatever, you know, have a conversation with them. Let them know how you really feel, if there's somebody that you know would understand, you know. But if it's somebody that you know won't understand, then maybe they might be a little bit of a block to your blessings. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Much love and light to all of you. I wish you guys the very best of luck on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to see you guys in your next reading. Bye, Sagittarius.